But going back to this whole thing, so you mentioned refinances.
Yes.
Does that affect me if I refinance my house?
Well, so let's talk a little bit about the options. So Prop 19 says, okay, so maybe I want to preserve my rental property, right? I want it to pass to my children. I don't want it to be reassessed. So you have a couple of options prior to this going into effect in February. So in February, Prop 19 is in effect. And after that point, there are no options for you. That's it. Like it'll just get reassessed. So the cutoff is, February. So one option is you do nothing. Like, Vito, you're a perfect example, right? You have younger kids, you're thinking of the future. So this is not going to affect you. You're taking your house, you're going to sell it, and you're going to move on. So there's nothing for you to really do. But what if you already had those rental properties for your kids? They're already in school. You've already purchased them. You don't want them to get reassessed in 50 years when it goes to the kids. So now you're thinking, well, okay, I could deed the properties to the kids right now and just gift them the kids their gift early. The problem with doing that is, well, now it's the kids' property. You have zero control over your property. And if you've got good kids, and so they'll share the rent with you. But what if you don't have good kids? What if you're worried about that child who's not so good? Or you're not so worried about your child. You're worried about their significant other that they're going to marry and find out. And so then maybe that's not the ideal option. So another option is actually moving that rental property or even your primary residence, your vacation property, into an irrevocable trust. It's a standalone trust from what your trust would already be. It's an irrevocable trust, but there's no changes allowed, right? That's what the word is. It's irrevocable. You can't make any changes. Your child is the beneficiary. So in your case, you move that rental over. Your child is entitled to all of the rents. So if you wanted to share 50-50, you're essentially making your child give that money to you. You're trusting that that's going to happen. But in a lot of cases, again, we're looking at that situation. But it's going to preserve the property tax basis. They'll get the step up in basis. So in 50 years from now, no reassessment. It freezes it for them. Doing that irrevocable trust, though, has two big consequences. One, if there's a mortgage on the property and the mortgage lender finds out, they could accelerate the mortgage and do a due on sale. So then if you don't have the resources to do that, that's sort of a bummer. The other big one is you can't refinance. If it's in an irrevocable trust, a lender will not lend to an irrevocable trust.
Wow.
And so big consequences. That's why I'm saying Prop 19, you have to think about how it's going to affect you during your lifetime versus maybe how it affects the kids. Because it's nice having that rental income. Maybe you do want to refinance, pull some money out, redo some things, pay off a mortgage on another property, go on vacation, have just a fund available if something were to happen for, catastrophe, health, and whatever that is, pay for college. You can't do that if you've locked it up in an irrevocable trust. However, if you're 90 and you're looking at the next 10 years, 15 years, maybe not making it that far, this might be a good way to preserve it for your kids in the next, 5-10 years versus maybe 50 for you, Vito. So there's options, very limited
Let's
options.
call it 60.
Yeah, there you go. 60,
No.
70.
Right.
But you see what I mean? There's
right. So it really depends on the scenario and what you're going at. I did not know about that whole irrevocable trust. You can't refinance on it. That's ridiculous. And that really limits your options. Can you get like a home equity line? You can't get a home equity line on commercial. So you have to get, that money gets kind of tied up and locked in.
Yeah. So it really is going to narrow who's going to really, that's why I'm saying, even though it's a big deal for everyone, it's really narrowed the exception, but it's really narrowed the options. Most people are going to want the property and the rental to be available for them during their lifetime. That's why they got it. They needed the rental income for their retirement. They want to supplement their lifestyle, whatever that is. And it's really the next generation that's going to feel the hit on this, unfortunately.
So stressful.